Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Today I've got a story time for y'all from a time I was at the skate park and witnessed one of the weirdest things I've ever seen between this goth kid and his mom. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. It should be a good one.
I'm getting quiet now. Lay low when you reach some button down. Make it out, stack the bread.
Alright, so like I said already a little bit, today's story time takes place at the skate park that I would hang out most often after school, where, you know, me and my friends were kind of what you would call the regulars of the park, and I don't mean that in a way that, like, we had any special privileges or anything. There was just a group of people that would be there, you know, once, twice a week, people that you just kind of knew that there was the possibility of being there. We would go after school and just kind of hang out, do our thing, and I'm not trying to make it sound like I was Tony Hawk or anything. I was never insanely good at skateboarding, but I just kind of liked hanging out at the skate park. I liked to skate, so it was something that we would just go do after school. And every now and then somebody would pull up that wasn't a regular, and like I said, it wasn't a bad thing. We wouldn't say anything. We wouldn't treat them differently. You just were kind of like, oh, you're not usually here after school, you know, because there was a group of people that were always there. And on this particular day, it was me and all my friends from school and a couple of kids from the other school that were usually there, and all of the sudden, this group of people pulled up, and I could only describe them as like Hot Topic goth kids. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. To each their own. You know, if you want to dress like a Hot Topic goth kid, by all means, go for it. I had a little bit of an emo phase I'm embarrassed of too. That being said, it was just kind of evident from like the second that they stepped into the skate park that they were a little bit more focused on fashion and just kind of looking like skaters than like actually riding the skateboards. You know, and it became obvious to me that that was the case when I overheard them saying that like they would try to learn how to ollie and kickflip, but they had looked it up and realized that if you learn how to ollie and kickflip on a skateboard, that you were going to scuff their Vans, and they didn't want them to get scuffed at all. Which, listen, man, if you're afraid of messing up your shoes, skateboarding is just really not the hobby for you. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, if you're going to do anything on a skateboard, your shoes are just going to get messed up in one way or another. So that was kind of the vibe right away, and they were just kind of standing in the way of stuff we were trying to skate. You know, they weren't too familiar with the rules of the skate park, and we weren't trying to have any beef. We were just kind of dealing with it. No one was saying anything, because obviously it's a skate park. It's not our skate park. We have no right to like tell anyone they're in our way or anything, because we don't own it. But regardless, one of these times, one of my friend went to do a trick and like accidentally went near one of them and said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And the response to "Oh, I'm sorry" wasn't like, "Hey, it's cool." They hissed at him instead, literally like a And listen, man, like I said, we weren't trying to have any beef. We weren't trying to fight anyone. They were just being really weird about like having us be at the skate park, even though, you know, we were just trying to use it the same way they were. And, you know, they just kind of had this energy about them of like, stay away from us, you know, or we'll hurt you. Like, they're literally hissing at my friend for accidentally getting near them and then being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, we really were not trying to have any issues. And on top of them looking tough, like trying to look tough, we were really confused why they were trying to do that, because they had brought their moms with them. Yeah, that's right. You know, Hot Topic crew and the gang had literally brought their moms to the skate park to like watch them skate. Which, listen, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, man. I love my mom. But here's the thing. You can't be like rolling around the skate park acting like you own the place, you know, hissing at people, like just having an attitude about it, if your mom is also sitting right outside of the skate park watching you, man. Like, listen, you're just not doing anything to make yourself look more intimidating. Like, I understand the situation. Maybe your mom said, "You can only go to the skate park if I come." That's alright. Everybody's been in a situation where they're a little embarrassed, bro, but you can't be acting like a tough guy hissing at everybody while, you know, mom and the gang sitting right outside with juice boxes and orange slices. Regardless, the emo kid that had hissed at my friend was like over and over again trying to land this ollie down this two-stair in the park. It was a pretty wide two-stair, but he just couldn't get it. And so my friend's kind of watching this, and he was annoyed that he had gotten hissed at because, you know, he had been trying to be nice, and now he had decided to be petty. And I'm not saying that I supported his decision to be petty. I told him it was a stupid idea, but he was kind of like, "Alright, next time he messes up, I'm just gonna go ollie down the two-stair." So he watches him do it, he messes up, and my friend just goes and does it first try. Which, I will be completely honest, you know, I'm not gonna defend my friend. That's just kind of a douche move. Like, listen, so is hissing at somebody when they try to be nice and apologize, but overall, there's just kind of this etiquette at a skate park that, like, if you see someone trying a trick over and over and over again, and you can nail it first try, you just shouldn't. It's not like it's against against the rules or anything. Like, it's not like it's written down, oh, you can't do a trick if somebody else is trying to do it. But, you know, it's just kind of rude because if he's been trying it for 20 minutes and you go up and do it and make it look easy, you're basically saying he sucks, right? But whatever, my friend goes and he ollies down the stairs right after he messes up. And he's just trying to get back at him for hissing. I don't agree that was the right move. But the emo kid gets really, really mad about the fact that my friend just did that. And instead of hissing at him again like he's in the Cats musical or something, he decides this time to just throw his skateboard at him. And obviously my friend had known that what he was doing was like probably gonna cause a problem, so he had been waiting for the guy to say something or do something. So he was ready for it and thankfully jumps out of the way. But at that point they're like, oh yeah, you want to fight, bro? You want to fight? What's wrong with you, man? Or, you know, my friend at least thought it was about to be a fight, because as my friend is going over to like fight the kid who threw the skateboard at him, he gets pushed out of the way by the kid's mom. The moms had been outside. Obviously she wasn't just gonna watch all this go down. And at that point my friend and everybody else in the skate park was like, ah, great, my friend's about to get yelled at and he deserves it, you know, like he did kind of start this. We're gonna have to go diffuse this situation. Goodness gracious, you know, we all expected her to just start reaming into my friend for like going and doing the trick and causing all this. But instead she just kind of like pushes my friend out of the way and goes up to our son instead. And she's like, why are you throwing the skateboard at people? What's wrong with you? You know, like, are you serious? That's it. We're going home, young man. I'm not gonna sit here and watch you throw things at strangers. And she's just kind of tearing into him about how like inappropriate that was and how she's gonna take him home. And listen, obviously, you know, throwing your skateboard at somebody's not very nice. Was it the most extreme possible reaction to what my friend did? Yeah, but like, you know, my friend did still kind of do something a little douchey. Sure, is it ever okay to like punch someone in the head if they steal your parking spot? Absolutely not. 100% no. But you could probably be a little upset. Obviously though, like when she's screaming at him, we're all laughing because how could you not? These kids have been acting all tough, hissing at us, you know, threw a skateboard at my friend and his mom won't let him fight. She like pushed my friend out of the way to come yell at him. And on top of it, it's even funnier because we all know that like my friend didn't start it, but like definitely did not help by doing the trick right in front of him. But of course, the goth kid is kind of like in the middle of getting yelled at and he hears us laughing and he decides that he doesn't want to just like look like a baby and not be tough. So he decides to, you know, threaten his mom, which I'm not understanding. That doesn't make anyone look tough. But he's like, Mom, if you don't get out of my face right now, then I'm going to knock you out. Like, I'm not playing. You're not going to embarrass me in front of all these people after they just did what they did. Like, get out of my face or I swear I'm going to knock you out, Mom. And at that point, all of us are watching and all of us are like, whoa, relax, bro. And we start kind of going over there to push them apart. You know, we don't want to watch anybody like punch their mom in the face. That's not what any of us are here to do. We're just here to skate. Like, listen, you want to fight my friend, whatever. Like, until it's really bad, I'm not getting involved. Like, I'm not gonna let you just knock out your mom. And especially because you just shouldn't fight your mom. Especially if you're just doing it to like prove that you're tough to us. Like, what's wrong with you, man? Listen, I think everybody could agree that like at some point in your life, your mom has made you insanely angry, okay? But never once in my life has my mom pissed me off and I've been like, hey, maybe the good old 1-2 combo would be very good, you know, Mike Tyson punch out. Like, I've never had that approach to my parents making me angry, you know, especially if it's like Mother's Day or something. I'm not like, here, Mom, I brought you a knuckle sandwich from Subway. Like, I just feel like certain things are just supposed to be off limits. Fighting your mom is one of them. Regardless, we're all telling him to relax and we start going over there to try to be like, hey, bro, there's no reason to do this. And as we're walking over there, his mom kind of like puts her arms out in a way that's just like, stop, you know. And so we just kind of stop in our tracks because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know that like she was gonna stop us and tell us she didn't need help or anything. We thought she'd be at least a little bit scared, you know, or at least like want him to get away from us. But she looks at her son after he says this and tells us to stop and says, all right, you know what? You want to be so tough and threaten to hit your mom? Go ahead and do it. But if you punch like you threw that skateboard, then I'm not scared at all. And obviously we're all like, oh, that was not what we were expecting her to say. And the kid's response to that is to kind of ball up his fist and go to swing on his mom. But as he's swinging, his mom like grabs his arm and then pulls it back down and is like, oh, that was a big mistake, young man. And like his fist is now down by his side again. And she takes her other hand and she grabs his ear and drags him by his ear. Not like literally, like he's walking with her. You know, when someone's like, ow, ow, pulling on the ear, drags him over to his skateboard and picks it up and then just starts pulling him out of the park. And we're all standing there watching this like, what is going on, dude? His mom had just gone full Keanu Keanu Reeves from The Matrix, predicted the next attack move like an anime character and then deflected it like a Pokemon using Protect, dude. Like, literally, I'm gonna hit you. You can't hit me. You hit like you throw a skateboard, then you suck. He goes for it, just grabs the fist. Big mistake, pal. You know, I don't know if his mom was literally like just some kung fu master or whatever. Haha, you tried to defeat my shield. At your power level, you forgot that my mom training makes me impervious to people weak in the martial arts field. And then she like just Doctor Strange disembodies him to the shadow realm, you know, where'd he go? Nobody knows. Either way, we're all just kind of standing there not believing that we just witnessed this lady block a punch with the ease of like spelling your name in cursive once you've learned it, you know, and she's just dragging him out of the skate park with her skateboard in one hand, or his skateboard in one hand and his ear in her other hand. And as she's kind of going out to the car, she's talking to the other moms about how like kids will be kids sometimes and she's got to take care of this, so you know she'll have to talk to them later. And oh, his dad's not going to be happy when we get home. She's just talking about it like it's a relatively normal situation, you know. You'd think there'd be like some embarrassment, like, oh man, wow, I can't believe my kid just did that. I'm so sorry. I'm out of here. Nah, it was just like, hey, Tuesdays, am I right, Jimmy? And what really confused me too is that none of the other moms seemed shocked or surprised at all. They were just kind of talking back like it's a normal Tuesday as well. Like, oh, okay, well, you know, I guess we'll see you later. These things happen. Let us know how it goes. Send a message to the group text later. Oh, when your kid tried to swing on you, what happened? Gee willikers, see you next week on Dragon Ball Z. Just like it was completely normal, which was very confusing to me because I did not realize that this was something that most people were out there doing. The son mom like boxing arena league, whatever. Like I didn't know that was a thing, and it probably should not be. I don't know what type of secret crime fighting club these ladies were a part of, but clearly they were tougher than everybody that was currently at the skate park, bro. They probably could have taken a 1v20 of a battalion of angry soldiers with just like how laid back they seemed about everything that had just gone down. But whatever, you know, it was very bizarre, but they end up in their car and they end up leaving, and we're like, all right, well, I guess they're gone. The kid's not here to fight with us or hiss at us anymore, so I guess we're cool. Anyways, me and all my friends are just standing in the skate park like, what just happened, you know, because obviously it's not something that we witness every day, and the rest of the moms start like gathering up the rest of this little emo group, and they all get ready to leave too, and not like quickly after all this has gone down, we are now the only people left in the skate park, dude. It was as if they had come here to stage that little performance of whatever that was and dip. And so they're all leaving and everyone's just still kind of standing there processing what happens. But now that they're not around to hear anything, we start making jokes about it and are like shocked about what's going on, you know, and we're all having a great time. Like, oh my gosh, dude, we just fought a vampire cult from Twilight. Like, what just happened? Like, did anyone record that? You know, everyone's just kind of memeing around. And as we're laughing and joking about it, one of my friends goes, hey, shut up. And he points at the parking lot. And obviously, you know, when someone says shut up and points at something, you're going to take a look over. So I turn that direction looking in the parking lot, and I'm gobsmacked because I'm like 80% sure that the car that the goth kid that had tried to fight his mom and his mom had gotten into and driven away was back, you know. Obviously, like different cars can exist that like look the same, but we were pretty sure it was them, and we're kind of like, why are they here? You know, are they coming back to fight us with a crowbar or something? Like, what is happening? And it's just kind of parked in the parking lot for a bit, and you know, the longer it's there, we're either thinking they're either really pissed off or it's a different car. And finally, after staring at it for a bit, the passenger door opens and the goth kid gets out and starts walking over to us looking embarrassed. You know when someone's just kind of like walking like they're not happy, you know, like with whatever they're about to do, they're just not too thrilled with it. That's just the vibe that he is very, very strongly giving off. Almost as if he's being forced, you know, his mom's told him that he needs to come back here and talk to us or something, and he just was like, please don't make me do this. But regardless, he's kind of walking up, head down, and he stops about 25 feet away from the park entrance, and he's just kind of standing there looking at us, and we're looking at him, obviously. And then we hear like the car window rolling down, and his mom yells out the driver's window. She's like, you better go over there or you're going to be in big trouble. You know what happens if you don't go over there and apologize now. And you know, you can kind of see him thinking about it for a second, almost weighing the options between just running as far as he can and changing his name, or like going in and just dealing with it. And he reluctantly walks into the skate park, and he walks right up to my friend that he had thrown the skateboard at, hissed at, you know, the one that they had been kind of beefing with each other. And he says, hey hey man, I'm really sorry about throwing the skateboard. I'm having a rough day and I'm sorry I took it out on you. But he's not saying it like, listen, it could have been a genuine apology. You know when it sounds like someone's reading a script though, that like someone told them to say, hey man, I am really sorry for throwing the skateboard. It will not happen. I had a bad day. And so my friend's like, okay, obviously his mom's kind of putting them up to this. So he goes, it's okay, man. You know, I kind of knew that you weren't going to be happy when I did the trick right in front of you. And the emo kid's like, yeah, well, you know, my mom said if I didn't come apologize that I was going to be grounded for 3 months, so I guess I've apologized. And my friend looks at him and like, obviously, you know, these two guys don't love each other. He goes, well, you probably shouldn't have tried to swing on your mom. And the emo kid doesn't even deny it. He's just like, yeah. And then he just stands there, dude. And when I say he just stands there, I mean like he's just kind of looking at us and we're all looking at each other and looking at him. And you know when something's just so awkward and silent that like you can hear your breathing, you know, you're hearing people's clothes moving. If you listen too carefully, you can hear like your blood flowing through your head. It's just that silent and everyone's just kind of standing there for what should have been the most awkward minute ever. And then he just kind of turned and walked away. And as he's walking out, he gets to like the gate, right? And he turns around and obviously we're all looking at him and he's like, can I say one more thing? And we're like, yeah, man, go for it. You know, at that point, you've already said enough weird stuff. This can't get any weirder, so whatever. Say whatever you gotta say. Get it off your chest. Sorry, dog, go bark. And so then he kind of puffs up his chest a bit, and he looks like he's about to say something really, really serious, deep, you know, just the most intense thing ever. And he's like, you are lucky that my mom was here. Otherwise, I would have destroyed you like I have the enemies of my past lives. I'll have you know that I was in charge of an army at one point in many lifetimes ago, and you're lucky that she was here to save you. Otherwise, you would have felt the wrath of all of the training that I've received throughout all variations of my past lives. Do you understand that my mom is the only reason you are not facing me in combat right now? And everyone's just kind of standing there like, what in the world is he talking about? And we don't know what to say, so we're just kind of like, okay, all right, man. How do you even respond to that? Like, obviously, we wanted to be like, hey, dude, you've kind of gone crazy, but, you know, how do you reply to like, you're lucky my mom was here, otherwise I'm an interdimensional multiple lifetime wizard that would have destroyed you. Like, oh, thank you for not destroying me? Like, I don't know, man. You're still threatening to destroy me. It's not like you're saying you didn't wish to destroy me, you know? If you are some interdimensional multiple lifetime wizard, then like you're insanely mad over literally nothing. But of course, after he says that, he just turns and literally sprints as fast as he can over to his mom's car and hops in. And I mean literally sprinted, didn't even like lightly jog, which to me was weird, you know, because if someone's had multiple lifetimes of combat experience and led an army, I don't know why they would be like sprinting away from a bunch of kids that didn't want to fight and don't know how to fight. Even if we all wanted to jump in, bro, it would have been like the Wiggles trying to beat somebody up. It just wasn't going to go very well. I don't know about the Wiggles fighting people. Maybe it would go crazy. Like, we did not want any beef in the first place. We were all cool until you started hissing at us, and even then, only one of us decided to be petty. It wasn't like the whole group wanted any problems. Not to mention, dude, it's kind of cringe to go off about how tough you are, you know, and how you've had multiple lifetimes of army experience when you are also literally being brought back to the skate park by your mom that you tried to swing on and she blocked you, which, you know, super cringe for like someone that's apparently an immortal soldier. And on top of that, dude, like you got brought back by her to apologize. I don't know, man. I don't know many interdimensional multiple lifetime soldiers that also apologize for like getting angry. You'd think they would just be like, haha, you silly human, you do not understand which of that I know. Anyways, the car leaves at that point because he had sprinted over there, and we're all standing there again, and my friend, who had kind of got the skateboard thrown at him, like the guy who was really involved in this, looks at us and he goes, I'm not having a fever dream, right? Like, that all actually happened? And everybody's just like, yeah, dude, I don't know what that was, but that was weird. Everybody was really confused too, because we had never like seen any of these kids before. Not that we knew everybody that lived in our town, dude. Our town's a pretty big town, but like, you know, we had kids from multiple schools there. Nobody said they looked familiar. Nobody knew who they were. All of a sudden, this group of kids pulls up and they're like vampires. They come back. Apparently, they've been to multiple dimensions, dude, and nobody had ever like even heard of this before. Like, it was just all a very confusing situation. And to make it weirder, we were like, all right, well, maybe they just moved here or something. Like, if none of us know what school they go to or who they are, then like they must be new in town, you know? And obviously, we were like, in that case, then we've just got to be prepared for them to be seen more often. But I'm telling you, dude, I never saw this group of people ever again. I went to that skate park pretty often often. Like I said, like not every day, but I was there often enough that like if they had moved to the area and were super into skating, I would have seen them at some point. And you know, I went to other skate parks too. Like I never saw it again. A group of emo kids all skating with their moms there to chaperone, and it never was I bearing witness to. So that makes me think it's possible that it was just some type of like a super deep cover alien interaction. They were testing their deep cover human suits, you know? Because if you think about it, that would be the only thing that would explain it being so weird, is if it was just like a bunch of aliens that had come down to try to understand our culture. For some reason, they had got something confused and they thought that like hissing at each other was a way to try to be friendly, you know, and make friends. Meanwhile, we just thought it was weird, and that's why like all this broke down, you know, their translator was broken. He meant to say, hello, how are you? But it came out like... And the reason the kid got in so much trouble for throwing the skateboard was because, you know, like on their planet, throwing a skateboard is basically a challenge to the duel for the death, and they were supposed to be undercover. So high key, my friend got lucky that he didn't pull out his vaporizer ray. You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, I'm about like 85% sure that they weren't aliens. I do realize that that leaves 15% because you just never know. You know, I've seen X-Files. It's out there. You never know what's out there. It could have been aliens for all you know. Technically, you can't confirm it wasn't. So 15%, that's what we're floating with. I would just recommend, though, if you weren't aliens and you're trying to act all intimidating and start fights, that you don't have your mom with you, because it's just not very intimidating, you know. That being said, I just don't really think there's a reason to be going to the skate park to start fights. It's just not what people are there to do, bro. I know it gets a weird reputation, but like people are just there to skate and have a good time, you know? No one's actually wanting to throw hands there. And at the same time, I would also recommend not wanting to challenge people that think that they've lived past lives and commanded many, many, many armies in those lives to destroy things to a fight, just because we agree that, you know, the odds of them being Genghis Khan in their past life are slim to none. But if they think they are, it's just probably not worth arguing with them, because they're, you know, convinced that they're Genghis Khan in the first place. But, yeah, anyways, guys, I think that'll do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate you being sure to press the like button and comment down below. Subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications. If you made it this far into the video, I'd really appreciate you going ahead and commenting the word aliens down below. It just helps the video do better, and I'd really appreciate it. Beyond that, there's going to be a link to the intro song down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, or of course you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout. The last two things that I'm gonna plug, I do put my story times up on Spotify a little bit after they're uploaded here, so if you want to listen offline or without gameplay, that's an option. I'll put that link in the top of the description. Be sure to check it out. And of course, we've got the merch. It is the coolest merch to ever exist, and it can be yours by checking out the last link down there, so be sure to go give it a click and get one. But yeah, anyways guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys all next time with another video. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.